Welcome back to Beyond the Buzzer. I'm Dave Glavin here with Shay Sullivan. Shay, it's been a minute.
Dude, it's been honestly, we're gonna look back, but it's probably been what, like 2 years since our last post?
It's been a while. It's at least a year. I
Yeah,
think it
but
was
we've
la
been
the
we've been tuned
beginning
in.
of the beginning of last season.
Oh, yeah. Things were a lot different.
Oh yeah, league was completely different. We didn't think of the Celtics as legit,
I certainly did not. No.
but we're gonna get into some Atlantic Division win totals today, starting with the Celtics.
Yeah.
Brought everybody back. Tatum gets the 5-year max. Derek White, 4 years, 130 mil. Hauser gets a nice extension. I mean, they're running it back with the same team. You have the Porzingis surgery, might miss some time. Had the weird kind of Tatum Brown Olympics thing. I don't know. They're trying to divide them. I don't know, but opened at 57 and a half, and it's up to 59 and a half.
Interesting.
A little bit of juice on the under. Plus 120 over 59 and a half, minus 145 under.
All right. I mean, initial thoughts. The way I'd play this one is I'd kind of wait because you did mention the Olympic team. Although, Tatum and Brown, or just Tatum really, played in the Olympics or the FIBA World Cup 2 years
It,
ago or whatever that was.
yeah, FIBA.
Yeah, so he played that whole summer, but I mean, I think this if you're playing basketball at that level all year round, basically at this point, eventually that's going to catch up to you. Knock on wood, those two get like the Celtics have been very healthy minus Porzingis. So I'm
Hmm.
not saying like someone's going to get injured, but
Yeah.
injuries are bound to happen, and you just had three dudes play all summer on the Olympic team. I think the Celtics know this. Obviously, they're very smart. They're probably not going to be, playing playoff basketball early on. I wait maybe mid-season and I try to take it alive over. If they start a little slow, but that's the way I'd play it. I don't think the over's worth it at this point. This definitely the roster's at 60-win team, like on paper, and if they were to play, fully healthy, they're absolutely a 60-win team. But I'm not seeing the value there at this point.
I agree. I think it's a little high. I wanted to see how many games they won last year. So they won 64 last year,
Yeah. Wow.
and they get the ring. I think they only lost 3 or 4 games in the playoffs, maybe five. Um, like you said, this is definitely a 60-win team. I could see kind of a slow start, but Missoula is also a sicko.
Yeah.
So I could see them going like 66 and 16.
Guns blazing.
Yeah.
But is
Uh,
that a smart strategy though? Like, do you think that's a
I don't think I think they're that good where it wouldn't be like burning them out.
okay?
Um, but it also the East did get better, so they're going to be playing better teams. We'll get into the division especially got better.
Yeah.
I think that could be a good segue to the Knicks, who added Mikal Bridges, may have overspent. I mean, 5 first-round picks for a guy that's never made an all-star team.
That's overspending. That's
It's
that's the
steep.
definition of overspending.
It is steep, but he's played with all those guys before. I think
Mhm.
center depth, I mean, they have a Chiwa and Robinson. Robinson is very injury prone. That could be an issue. But they opened at 51 and a half, and they're up to 54 and a half.
Interesting.
Plus 140 over, minus 170 under.
All right. I mean, this is probably the first play of the series. We'll track them all. I'm taking the over on this team. Um, you know, Coach Thibs runs his guys. Like at what point, he runs his guys into the ground, and that's good for regular season basketball, but
It
not for the
is?
playoffs. We
No.
saw what happened in the playoffs last year. So I mean, I'm taking the over. I like what they did. I think they overpaid, but overall the roster is still very good. The East got better. It's not great. They're still going to be probably the second, or I don't know if there's odds out for this, but I would not be surprised if they were a team to finish with the 1 seed in the East. Like that's how they play regular season.
There's definitely odds. I'm gonna look it up. But yeah, I think obviously you get Brunson on that team friendly extension. That was huge. OG's back on a 5 year max. You lose Hartenstein, who was big for them, but I think that I mean they're designed to beat the Celtics.
They are.
Um,
Yeah.
Conference seeding, 1 seed. They are so the C's are minus 105, Knicks plus 400.
I think that's worth a flyer. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Because you still got, the Bucks dealing with they're gonna be injured. We just know that. The
they're only getting
Celtics,
older. Yeah,
the Celtics can probably just coast through the whole first half of the year and then turn up for the second half and finish with a 2 seed and be fine with that. Because then you're still playing the Knicks. I don't really think they think home court's that big a deal. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think they really care. Hardenstein, that definitely hurts, but overall, you do make the move to get Bridges to compete in the East and to counter the Celtics. So overall, I think it was an overpay. If it doesn't work out, it's going to look real bad. But if they, even I say this team, it's a success if they make the conference finals this year. I think that is a success. Where would you measure that?
finals.
It's finals or bust.
No, not a finals, not a ring, but
Yeah.
you're giving up 5 first round picks for a guy that's never made an all-star team,
Mm-hmm.
and you're designed to beat the Celtics. So you're going Brunson, McHale, OG, Julius, Mitchell, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you go small, play Julius at the 5 and have like DiVincenzo or Hart off the bench. I think you have to take advantage of that Brunson extension and be good while you can still have this many quality guys on the team.
I
Um,
agree.
Obviously, Tibbs gets an extension too. I agree and disagree with his regular season philosophy because guys end up hurt every single year.
Yep. He
But
does it every year.
that's it. They're grit and grind that beat you up. Um, I wouldn't touch it now, but I think I tend to agree with you. I like the 4-1 odds to get the 1 seed, maybe like 58 win, 59 win team.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like you like the over, Dave. What is it? 40, you said 47 and a half it's up to?
54 and a half.
Oh, 54 and a half. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Give me that over all day. They clear 55 because in the East this year, I think 55, you're probably looking at a 3 seed, right? Two or three.
I mean, last year, granted, it was weaker. C's had 64, next highest team had 50.
Okay. So, this year, though,
Because, I
yeah,
mean,
I
the
mean,
the 2 through the 8 seed were separated by 4 games,
that's what, yeah.
46 wins at the 8 seed.
There was too many teams that weren't bottomed out yet,
Yeah.
but we could see that this year.
So that's something to keep in mind. Moving on to the next highest team in this division, Philadelphia. Opened at 51 and a half. They're up to 52 and a half, plus 105 for the over, minus 125 for the under. Completely new roster.
Yep.
Um,
A lot to
Added Paul
talk about.
George on the 4 year max, added Drummond, added Caleb Martin, Reggie Jackson, Eric Gordon, and kept Maxi, Oubre, Kyle Lowry.
I like all the keeps and some of the additions I like. We'll talk about that, but
Are you a fan of the Paul George fit
I am absolutely I am because so the total so that's already 3 teams over 50 wins, right?
in the same
So
division?
far
Yeah.
in this division. So they are expecting the East because the Bucks I think are higher than that too. Um, but the East is going to be good. I think this is one of the teams. Again, I wouldn't hate. These are my two picks: Knicks and 76ers to win the East. at least in the regular season to come in first. Um, and I like all their additions. I think Maxey is going to benefit the most from this. Honestly, not even Embiid, because now he's still going to be the primary ball handler
Hmm.
per se. I mean, it's him and Lowry, but Lowry is just on the decline. He's probably a bench guy at this point.
Yeah,
Um,
15, 20 minutes a night at the most.
yeah, so yeah, and I like Oubre. He had a great year. Definitely last first half, right? He really exploded, and then he got in
Yep.
that bike accident. Um, but I like that. So overall, I'm pretty high on this team. I think they're going to be good. It's going to be tough at the beginning, like you said. There was a lot of additions, so another team I wouldn't like hurry up to bet, just because it might take them a little bit. But I do
Hmm.
like their over this year.
So I was messing up a little bit on DraftKings, but the numbers got swayed a little bit. The C's are 58 and a half. The Knicks are 52 and a half.
Wow.
And Philly is also 52 and a half. So,
I mean, I like the Knicks even more.
yeah,
And I still like 52.5 for Philly. Obviously, not all these teams are going to finish over 50 wins, but at this point, it's hard to talk me out of saying any of those three teams finish with the less than 50 wins this year.
that's what I feel like one of them has to for going off last year, or there's not going to be a team that gets 60,
Hmm.
which I could see being more realistic.
Probably, yeah,
Um,
the Celtics.
you have
Yeah.
like Celtics, Knicks, 76ers that all kind of get in that 52 to 55 range.
Yeah.
Um, I really like Philly. I think with Embiid, he's turning 30. Like, how many years left do you have of Joel Embiid being a top five player? Especially given how injury prone he is. I don't hate going all in with Paul George. Um, but the three-star method, we've yet to see it work in a long time.
That's true.
Since KD Warriors.
But they have good surrounding pieces, at least.
They do. So they'll probably go Maxi, Oubre, Paul George, Martin, Embiid.
Yeah.
And then you've got a bunch of vets off the bench, as well as McCain. They added McCain in the draft. I don't know if he'll play, but he's a good shooter.
Duke. Uh, this is, I guess, my overall on this team. Like they got probably one of the highest ceilings. If everything goes well, this team's going to
Hmm.
be elite. We're going to be talking about possibly a Final Four team. But their floor. You got two guys in their 30s. We know the injury history for Embiid. Paul George hasn't been that much better lately.
No.
So like if that's my only concern with Philly. Probably not going to bet this one at all. Uh, but that's my only concern. Injuries, old
The
team,
Embiid, the Embiid health factor is too dangerous.
absolutely
They have a higher chance to win it all than the Knicks, but the Knicks have a better chance to be the one seed.
interesting, huh?
So I think that's just kind of what we're talking about regular season versus playoffs.
Yeah, we got
Um,
Embiid resting
yep.
versus Tibbs just run them into the ground.
Last two teams in the division, Raptors, 29 and a half. They opened at 32 and a half. So this has
Yep.
been hammered under. Um, in terms of off-season moves, Scotty Barnes gets the 5-year max. Emmanuel quickly returns on a 5-year deal. Didn't really add anyone significant, Davion Mitchell and Bruno Fernando, but lose Gary Trent Jr. I mean, this team, I don't know how you feel. I think they're a bottom three team in the East.
Yeah, they're trending definitely that way. But this is where the fun starts, right? The bottom two teams. We can kind of talk about where we kind of see them going. Do you want to see them win this year? Do you want to see them lose? At this point, I agree. I don't think there's really no incentive. There's not a lot on this team to try to win. Um, I like the under 29 and a half seems a little high, but that is It's around, fourth lowest team in the East.
So they went 25 and 57 last year.
And they're one of the teams I feel really just threw in the towel at the end of last year.
I
Like
think they
they
lost like 16 in a row to try to get their pick, and they didn't get it.
Yeah. And they still couldn't get it.
Yeah.
So does that happen again? I think that's definitely something you got to think about if you're going to bet this and you're looking at last year's total and you see what they did.
I mean
Losing
the
Gary Trent, not that bad, not that big a deal.
no. The Cooper Flag sweepstakes. I know it's not going to be like Wemby, but it's still going to be there's going to be a lot of teams that are bottoming out come March, late February.
It's going to be competitive.
RJ Barrett's out with conditioning issues for four
Yeah.
games. Yeah.
that that fit never really made sense to me. I don't know. I think he's really just trying to rebuild his career there at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's from Toronto. I don't hate it, but like if you're going quickly, Barrett, maybe Grady Dick, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Pertl,
Yeah, it's not very
not a
exciting.
good team. It's not a good team.
No. And so maybe you have a different feeling on this, but Scotty Barnes, in my opinion, a lot of people really liked him and still do.
Hmm.
I was never that high on him. I still don't see it. I think he probably like what is their plan with him? What is he are you gonna surround Scotty Barnes with this next star or is he eventually on the way out?
So I like him. I don't know whether he could be the best player. Like he seems like more of a second best player on like a really good team.
Second
Um,
or third.
he averaged 28 and 6. That's pretty good. He's like
Yeah.
point forward. Barrett did have a better year, or a better stint with Toronto than he did with the Knicks. Averaged 22 and 6, shot 55% from the field, 39 from three. I mean, that's pretty good. I'd like to see a season of that at like 20, 23, 24 a game before I'm really convinced that he could be a legit piece. Um, so I think that would be the only reason they go over is like RJ Barrett becomes questionably the best player on that team.
Yeah. And then Scotty's here too.
Scotty's still like all-star worthy. He made an all-star team last year.
That is still it's crazy to me. I don't know. It was a lot of empty stats. I'm not gonna say all of them were empty stats, but that team was
I,
so bad last year.
yeah, they were awful. I think he replaced Embiid. So like he didn't make it off like outright,
Oh, okay.
if I remember correctly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Still, though, I don't know. You can't have an all-star on a team that won 32 games or whatever it was. Or
No,
no,
yeah,
you said
20,
20 something?
25.
25? Yeah,
Yeah.
no. But that's tough. I don't know. That's a tough total. I think there's, a lot of upside, which is weird to say because, I mean, you have guys that could take a step.
I think,
Scotty, RJ,
yeah. I think flag on that team just makes sense.
but they're not getting a bottom three record. I don't see that. I
They're
don't
not
think.
bad enough. That's the issue.
Yeah. So do you move on it from a guy this year? Like was RJ just kind of a flip move? Like you
Buy
just had to
low.
take him,
Yeah.
yeah, rebuild him up by the deadline, ship him out to a team that wants to overpay.
I don't think it's impossible. I would be surprised though, because they just got
Okay.
him at last year's deadline.
Yeah.
Um, the Nets, our final team in the Atlantic Division, obviously got a haul for Mikal Bridges, facilitated a trade with the Rockets to get their picks back so they can be bad. Um, their total hasn't moved. It's been 19 and a half since it opened. Lowest in the league.
Oh,
This team stinks.
under.
I agree. For looking back at there was two teams under 19 and a half last year, the Pistons and the Wizards.
Both in the East.
If you look at the year before, just one team, Pistons.
Man, Pistons suck.
Yeah, 21, 22. Nobody under 19. 2021. That was a different year because COVID. Same with
It's tough to do. It's tough to be that
1920.
bad.
I mean, that's an awful team. Like the Pistons, what they lose? 28 straight games?
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
I mean, that's 18, 19. There was three teams. So like we're assuming they're going to be the worst team in the league. One of the two worst teams in the league.
Let's look up odds on that because that is I'd be willing to take that. This team is pathetic. They're terrible.
I'm only seeing like wins, not losses.
Hmm. Odds to finish last. I know they have it in the NFL.
17 to 20 wins for Brooklyn is plus 240.
Interesting.
13 to 16 plus 300.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. That's unfortunate, but yeah, this team's gonna be terrible. So they moved on from Bridges. Is Johnson still there? They gave him a deal, or
Cam Johnson's still there, but I think he and Dorian Finney-Smith at the deadline are gone.
yeah, two nice pieces.
They could
That
help
and that
out contenders.
yeah.
They brought back Nick Claxton, added Killian Hayes, Shake Milton,
Oh,
Bojan
oh.
Bogdanovic.
This is like the Pistons. Isn't this the Pistons roster last year?
I mean, they've got Cam Thomas and like I think Dennis Schroeder's still on this team. Ben Simmons.
Dennis Schroeder's still in the league,
Yeah,
and he's on the Nets.
I'm gonna double check. I think he's still on the Nets. He could get moved too.
I'm shocked he's even in the league still.
He's a good enough player. Yeah, Dennis Schroeder. Um, this team stinks.
Do they finish under 10?
No, no, no.
Like where do you have them?
I think they win 13 games.
Oh, that's a pretty big edge then. If you think they win 13, you got to be that
That
under
is one
then's
of
got
the
to be really
worst
good.
teams though. Like the Pistons won 14 last year. I think I'm gonna worst record in NBA history. I think it's Charlotte, but that wasn't an 82 game season. Oh, 9-73. Oh, the
Who was that?
1973 Sixers.
Oh wow. Ugh.
Um, yeah, I'm assuming you're going under on this.
I'm going under 19 and a half. I think that's crazy. Uh, the division's tough. I know that's not really a huge factor, but there is a
Like,
little like you do play your division more, right?
I think you played three games against your division, if I'm not mistaken. It might be four though.
Yeah. So I mean that's not going for them.
No,
I mean if we're gonna go through every division every week and stop us when you find a team as bad as the Nets. Like I think there's gonna be some stinkers, but
I mean
um,
if we're doing a little preview, like the next worst team wins wise is the Wizards.
and I mean I wouldn't say they got better, but they didn't like offload like the Nets did
No,
this offseason.
still got Kuzma. I mean, that team stinks too, but
They're gonna be really bad.
but that's the Atlantic Division. Like Shay said, we're gonna be doing a division a week, and let's see where that puts us. There's six divisions, correct?
Yeah, three conference. So perfect, honestly. That might
One,
have us.
two, three, four, five, six. Yep. One every Tuesday, and then the following week is the start of the season.
We planned that out totally beforehand, and that was all ironed out.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, but do you want to go over just in this division odds to make the playoffs slash
Yep.
because some of these teams aren't even listed, but like
I've got
odds
it.
to win the championship.
So playoffs, obviously C's are minus 10,000, Knicks minus 4,000. Philly minus 3,000. So I guess championship is better. I don't think Raptors or Nets we even bother with that.
No. Yep.
Um, Celtics plus 295 on DraftKings. Philly plus 850. Knicks plus 900. All three in the top four.
And I'm not, I mean, like I said, the ceiling for the Sixers is probably the highest. But I still don't think that's worth it. And the Knicks can't trust their injury issues. I don't think either of those two teams are winning the championship this year. The Celtics, like I said, I'd wait on it, but that would be my only pick. I really am not. I don't think the Philadelphia Sixers or the Knicks win it all this year. What do you think?
I don't like the Celtics to go back to back just because of six straight different champions.
It's
Um,
true. Someone's got to break it though.
Someone does have to break it, and they are stacked. That team is very good. I've got someone out west that I think's winning it. So
Okay, that's fair.
and we'll get to that division. But if I were to pick the Sixers or the Knicks to get to the finals, the injury issues are tough because I don't like I agree with you. I don't think either of them are healthy enough down the stretch. But if we're saying fully healthy, give me Philly
Yeah.
to get to the finals over the Knicks.
I like that. Here's a weird one for you too. I kind of have an angle on this.
Yep.
The NBA Cup winner, that in-season tournament,
Yep.
the Knicks are plus 1,000. They're the third highest favorite to win the NBA in-season tournament. We don't have the pools yet, right?
No, we don't have the pools. Not that I know of. There are a few games that are out though. Maybe I don't think we do have the full pools though.
But I'm
Um,
kind of high on the Knicks early season. Like, it's going to take them a little bit to get going, gelling together, but I think they could hit that stride by the in-season tournament. They play their guys like crazy. I mean, that is something that I feel like they're going to be incentivized to win.
we do have the pools.
Okay, great. Perfect.
So I'll give you the Knicks pool. Knicks, Philly, Orlando, Charlotte, Brooklyn.
I was going to say that sounds like a really tough pool until we got to those free wins at
So
the
they'll
end,
beat
but
up on Charlotte and Brooklyn. I mean, I'm not thrilled if I'm them though to get Philly and Orlando.
I think you take down Orlando easily, but they could be one of those teams that sneaks up. What are they? I don't think they make it out of
I
that
mean,
division.
the Celtics pool, Cavs, Hawks, Bulls, Wizards.
They're the favorites at plus 500. That makes sense because that's a
Yeah,
week.
they're getting to the quarterfinal.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough pool. I think if you can eliminate, I mean, the Sixers are really old. They're both plus 1,000. Uh, but I do like the Knicks. Something about the Knicks in season tournament. I wonder. Do you remember where they finished last year?
In the in-season tournament,
Yeah.
I don't believe that they were in the top four. I only remember the top four.
Okay.
Was Lakers, Suns? No, Lakers, somebody else, and then Bucks,
Pacers Celtics.
Pacers.
Oh, Bucks. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
It was
the
Bucks,
Pacers
Pacers,
upset us.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now
Yep, because
I'm
the Pacers
curious.
beat
I
us.
forget who we beat in the. It was either the Pelicans or the Suns, I thought.
Oh, the Pelicans were on fire at that point.
We whooped them.
Yeah. They were good
In-season
though.
tournament 2023.
Yeah, you got to tell me where the Knicks finished in that because I mean,
It was the
I know it was the
Pelicans.
first year.
The Knicks lost to the Bucks, so they were in it. It was just they were the game before, so quarterfinals.
All right, I like it then. I like the Knicks. Give me the Knicks plus 1,000 to win the in-season tournament. So far, that's my only play. Honestly, do they have to win the pool? Oh, here it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they do.
Okay.
They're favored plus 160 on DraftKings.
That I think is probably a more reasonable bet to make. Say the Sixers and Embiid is out or banged up, like take the Sixers out of that equation, and you know It's a free plus 160 play.
Could I give you, I know it's not the division, could I give you my in-season winner?
Yep.
Minnesota,
Okay, I like it.
plus 900.
Ooh, okay. Pretty juicy. Who do they got in there?
Their group is Sacramento, Houston, Clippers, Trailblazers. But I'm
Couple
going
K.
off continuity early season. Really didn't lose anyone important. Not a great or not an easy group, but no group in the West is easy.
That's a good point. That's true. We do have some game lines out. The Sixers play the Knicks November 12th. Sixers are favored by 2.5. That one's in Philly, so that's the only. Dude, this I haven't even looked at the in-season tournament yet, but this could be a whole. I'm sure there's a lot of value that you could find in these different groups and stuff and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like before the season, before like
Yep.
shit hits the fan. I'm gonna dive into that one. Maybe we'll have some more plays for you next week. But so far, I got the Knicks over 52.5. I have the Knicks
Hmm.
to get the 1 seed plus 400, and I'm gonna go with the Knicks to win their group at plus 160. I feel like that's fair.
Triple
And
Knicks
then
bet.
that's yeah. I'm big on the Knicks. I'm big on the Knicks in the regular season. You don't go out and make the moves they did to just like not show up and not prove that it
Hmm.
was it was worth the investment early on.
I yes, I say if we did like one like prop, at least one prop per division, I would
Yep,
pick the Nets to finish between 13 and 16 wins.
that's got to be good.
It is plus 300, 3 to
I
1.
I think that's a good range because you got to think they're going to be. I mean, there is going to be a sweepstakes for a flag. I think there's going to
Yeah.
be,
And
and if they're
Brooklyn,
competing, yeah.
need him in a big city. You know the NBA. Come on.
Oh yeah,
Not going to
yep.
Utah.
Eh,
No,
big white guy.
he's not going to Utah. They got Filipowski.
Oh my god,
That's their big white guy.
that's in. Oh no, no,
What?
dude. Lori Markkinen.
Oh, Lord. Yeah,
I couldn't think of his name. Oh my god.
yeah. Come on, Sullivan. We're almost in the NBA season.
I'm in NFL mode right now. I
That's
don't have
fair.
these like white European names like in my head right now. It's not the demographic.
One division total, um, division win totals every week until the season. I'm looking forward to next week, Central Division, um, for the Eastern Conference. It's gonna be on
Yep.
YouTube, clips potentially on TikTok or YouTube Shorts as well.
Hmm.
Forward to next week.